Joe Biden, a so-called Catholic, who is in theory not to be in favor of abortions, but of course he is in favor of abortions. And incredibly, the Pope even gave him communion along with Nancy Pelosi, both opponents of abortions, gave his speech last night. And I might add, the speech was a literal abortion. Of course, the Democrats wanted to push him off at prime time. He didn't speak until about midnight East Coast time. And then he makes a statement with regard to protesters outside, these radicals, that they had merit, what they were doing. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Hateful, a vengeful speech that he gave on his way out. And of course, the only enjoyment that I had in listening to it or watching it was to see Jill Biden cry because she's sorry that she doesn't have a clothing allowance anymore after January of next year to get clothing and to travel around the world. What a joke. But I'll tell you something that isn't a joke. Is that outside of the Democrat National Convention is a van. It's like a taco van where you can get an abortion or you can get a vasectomy run by Planned Parenthood. Of course, Planned Parenthood was founded by Margaret Sanger, and the purpose for that was to kill black babies. Talk about genocide, that was an attempt at black genocide. Now they're a big part of the Democrat Party, a big part of the left. And this tells you something about the left. The left is pure evil. I say it many, many times. It's pure evil. It is the disciple of the devil. There's a war going on in this country. We want it to be peaceful and legal. One side's going to win and one side's going to lose. And we have to make sure that we win. And the only way that we're going to win, we conservatives, people of faith, those who believe in the vision and creation of our founding fathers, those of us who are not socialists and communists, like Bernie Sanders, and yes, Kamala Harris, and that clown that's running as vice president, Tim Walz, we need to take strong action. These people need to be correctly and peacefully and legally thrown in prison where they belong for the crimes that they have committed against the American people. And I'm not just talking about January 6th, the misuse of the Justice Department as a Gestapo to persecute peaceful January 6th protesters to quell dissent. I'm not just talking about running across the border with drug traffickers, human traffickers, sex traffickers, and terrorists. I'm not just talking about rampant crime in cities. Frankly, I don't even know how anybody can go to Chicago without fear of being killed. It's the murder capital of the world at this point, or the demoralization of the military, or the failure to support our allies for getting us into multiple wars. These people are evil, and their plan is to destroy the country. And by taking hold of the country while it's in rubble, they will have total control. And I've said this before. I want you to read the book Atlas Shrugged. This is exactly what happened that Ayn Rand wrote about back in 1958. To dumb down the country, to have total government control, to substitute government for the concept of God. And that's what God has been relegated to in communist societies. You know, for a long time in the Soviet Union, you could not worship. You could not worship in North Korea. You could not worship in Cuba, Venezuela, because communism will not allow for competition from a higher being, from God. And that's why I want you to understand the true facts of life. Watch this Democrat convention. You know, I'm a registered Republican, but I'm very critical of them as well. They become a money-raising, racketeering enterprise. They never deliver on anything that they promise. But the Democrats are the disciple of the devil, and they must be peacefully and legally destroyed and relegated to the ash heap of American history. They are a cancer on this country, a cancer. And it tells you something when they have a taco truck, in effect, to kill babies and to give vasectomies to men, as if that's cool, like that's a game. It's not a game. And it's time for us to rise up. It is time for us to peacefully and legally, through our citizens' grand juries, citizens' trials, and citizens' sentencing, and carrying it out peacefully and legally, to send these people to the gulag, to prison, where they belong. That's my message for today. Go to freedomwatchusa.org, contribute to our cause. Watch the Democrat convention so you see what you're up against. These people are degenerates, they're criminals, they're socialists, they're communists, they're atheists. They are a threat to the very existence of you and your loved ones. So I want you to join Freedom Watch, contribute with tax-deductible contributions at freedomwatchusa.org. It's time to be strong, not weak. And pay attention to what's going on in Chicago this week, because it'll tell you a lot about the freak show, the communist, socialist, atheist freak show, which inhabits the earth and is attempting to rule over us for yet another 4 years. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the United States. Remember, the Father and Son will only protect us if we help ourselves.